All right, with November setting in, I'm going to start filling up my steelhead box here. This is one of my favorite steelhead patterns. Very flashy, attracts a lot of attention. It's kind of a flashy sucker spawn. That's what the finished guy is going to look like. You got the purple egg part on the top, the pearl chenille. That's going to give it that egg look. Now what I use is this cactus chenille here in medium pearl, and I like to take the end and kind of get all those fibers off of there. And that'll help me kind of just cinch that down to the hook shank a lot better. And we're going to tie that back, not quite to the bend, but around there. We'll bring our thread back to the front. You got to make sure when you tie this to leave a little bit of room at the head. These materials that we're tying in are kind of bulky, and if you're crowding your head, you're going to have a hard time tying it off. This is a little bit of sparkle braid in fluorescent pink, and I'm going to fold that over and get that tied in. You don't really need to be crazy neat with the body. I mean, we're going to cover all that. I'm just going to go and get as much of this trimmed off as possible. I should have left a little bit more to make the trimming easier, but what are you going to do? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to fold it down and kind of bunch it up a little bit, kind of the way you would tie a regular spawn. And once that's secured, I'm going to fold this back, move my thread underneath, and I'm just going to do the same thing again. We're going to do that about, you can put as many segments on here as you want. I usually do about 3. Christ, why wouldn't that happen? I was going to pause the video until I get this fixed, but I guess maybe I'll include, what I do if I break my thread. If my thread breaks off, what I'll do is I'll pull off the tail end, and I'll take my hackle pliers, clip them on there, and just hang them. Then what I do is I'll get my bobbin going again on here, and as I move down, I'll just capture that, and then I'm back in business. That's how I do it. Obviously, there's a number of ways that you can do it, but that's what's always worked for me. Okay, so once we're back, we're just going to keep going with what we've been doing. As you move down further, I generally make the folds a little bit bigger. So I'm going to add a little bit of size to this one. Fold it over. This last one will be just a little bit smaller. Now that's secured in. Start building up my head a little bit, and I'll get rid of this excess. Get all that hidden. I do not like these hooks at all. I have got to reorder what I normally use. Okay, now for the egg part, I'll throw a little hitch in there just to kind of hold it. This chenille, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap that around the back. We're going to get a couple of wraps right at the butt end of this. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to fold this and wrap this chenille right in the middle of all of those little bumps that we made. Get that right in there. Notch it down nice and tight. We'll get a turn or two right in front. Make sure that's folding back so everything is nice and clean. Get a nice tight wrap to cinch that off. And that's pretty much it. I mean, this is a very, very simple pattern. It's only 2 materials. It only takes, a couple minutes to tie. I mean, you can knock out a dozen of these in no time. Very, very quick, very easy. Very, 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 very effective. Very good fly. I use this a lot in the early season. Later season, I usually switch over to nymphs. But very, very good early season fly. That's my flashy sucker spawn. Quick and easy.